Guys, we got something super cool to play with today. So I'm anxiously anticipating unboxing that new Savage, but I'm playing around on Facebook, and of course I find a Revo for $100. And no, it did not come with this body. But what we have here is we have an OG 0405 25R short wheelbase narrow track width Revo. Guys, before we get into that Revo, let's get into this Revo. This is the Frevo Revo channel giveaway. This is a giveaway that's going to hopefully get me to 3,300 subscribers. We're at about almost 2,500 right now. But what you do is I'm going to link a video. I'm going to card it up on top of this clip to go to this video, and all you're going to do is subscribe, and you are going to type in the words Frevo Revo. Which case I'm going to, in numerical order, give you a number. And on February 1st, we're going to do a random number draw. We're going to do it live, and whoever's number gets picked wins this Revo, and I'm going to ship it to you. But listen, guys, I need you guys to literally share the hell out of this video if you can, because the whole idea is to gain subscribers. And the idea is of February 1st, if we somehow magically get to that 3,300, I'm going to offer you guys that new Revo that I just unboxed in the channel probably a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. So that being said, let's see what $100 on Facebook Marketplace gets you. Now, my body, I had to go to my warehouse at my house. I got a big old warehouse in the backyard full of stuff, and I am stacking Revos, Savages, and other things. But what we got, as you can tell, we got a very, very, very dirty, nasty 25R Revo. You can tell it's 25 because it's a blue head. We got backwards MGT wheels, which is kind of funny because, well, I think these wheels might be worth $100. Everything's there. I mean, it's rough, it's nasty, but the only thing I can see that's missing is going to be the body. I did get a radio with it. I went ahead and powered it up. Radio does work, but I'm pretty much not about a AM radio on this thing. Every servo works. So basically, all we really got to do is figure out what we got going on. But let's compare it to a 3.3 Revo. All right, guys, so let's talk about the differences, because this is the 0405 Revo 25R, and in 06 this style Revo came out, and there was a couple key differences, because if you look at them, I'll tell you what, they don't look that different at all. I mean, they both got GTR shocks on them, they both got the long radio box, they've got the long servo box for the reverse. The only real differences on these things, if you look right here between the transmission and the shock mounts in the front, in 06 for the 3.3 they extended them 30mm. Other kind of bigger differences are, besides the radios, obviously, later in life they went to the 2.4 gig from the AM, is this guy has 17mm wheel hubs. This guy has the old T-Max 14mm style, and it just doesn't look right with MGT wheels on there, besides the fact that they're backwards. But what I'm going to do on this thing, guys, is I've already kind of taken it apart. Or I have not taken it apart, but I've tried to start it. I put a battery in the receiver, and that's how I figured everything's good. But that motor is cached. There's nothing, I mean, you might as well pull the glow plug out of it when you're cranking on it. So yesterday I went up to Havoc Speed, and I picked up a 25R power-up. You give them an old engine, I gave him a 3.3 for it, and I won it for $85. I got a brand new 25R. But on the wall was a almost 0-mile 25R, so that's the engine we're going to put in. Alright, guys, so next step's going to be, I'm going to blow the wheels off of this thing, get the exhaust off of it, air filter, engine, get the fuel tank out. I'm going to go and take it next door, give it a sink wash, and see how bad she actually is. Guys, check her out, man. She cleaned up nice. Alright, truth in anything, I did want to put new links on it. We had a bent rear toe link, but I had some Lumidave links, so I went and put those on. So next step, guys, let's go and get this engine ready to put back in. Now, I know you guys have seen this a time or two, but I'm going to show you this one more time. How to swap out an engine on a Traxxas. Easy start. Now, there's no real reason why I'm doing the easy start first, because honestly, well, that thing is just full of mud. We're going to try to push the mud out. No, we're going to have to get a pick, dig that thing out, because, oh wow. I don't know if you guys can see the boogers coming out of that thing, but yeah, it's not exactly pretty. Easy start out. Take a one-way bearing. I'm going to reuse this one because this motor did crank just fine, which you know is going to bite me in the ass, but you can change a one-way on this thing with the engine in the car, so that's not that big of a deal. Okay, exhaust is coming off. Okay, got that. Let's get that old nasty gas tank out of the way. Now, clutch sounds really good, so we're going to reuse the clutch and the flywheel. Potentially. And I do mean potentially, because already she's kind of grubby stuck. You go grab a screwdriver, guys. I'll be right back. All right, we're back with our tuning screwdriver. Let's go and get this clutch out. She's just got a bunch of gunk on the end of her. Pull the clutch out. Clutch honestly doesn't look too terribly bad. Grab your flywheel tool. Get your nut off. Grab your flywheel hammer. It's a wedge, so it should. Ooh. Yeah, that had a little bit of a leak to it. So let's go ahead and just kind of get some of that schmegma off of there. Get as much of this dirt and grime off it as we can. Okay, let's go ahead and take our collet off, which is probably going to be quite interesting based on how bad this crankshaft was leaking. Nah, it came off. And guys, this is going to be a power-up engine. 85 bucks. We're going to turn that into a new 2.5. Get your collet on. Flywheel nut. Get her started. Flower wrench again. Give her a little torque. Not a whole lot of torque, but torque. Okay, I'm going to put our clutch on. Remember, it's a centrifugal clutch, so the pins swing out from the top. Perfect. We'll put our clutch on. And it doesn't look like, yeah, there was no spacer on it. And I kind of beat that compressor. I turned it off for this little segment. And then boom, there's almost no play in that thing. So there's our clutch. All right, so I went in and sink washed the muffler. It's got a little bit of water in there. Get that out of there. I'm gonna go ahead and put our muffler back in, which can be a little fiddly on the bottom bolt because on the Revo and the Slayers, you got to kind of pull it out just a little tiny bit, and you got to get it started. And I'm sorry guys if I'm seeing this better than you are, but once you get her started, you're golden. Just grab your other screw and then just kind of torque her down. And the gasket on this thing looked pretty good, so the O-ring, so we're just going to live with, we're going to deal with what we got. The bottom of that muffler didn't get too terribly clean, but I'm not overly worried about it. Grab your throwout bearing, give her a twist looking from the back. If she's grabbing clockwise, that's the direction you want to go. You want it to grab clockwise. Get your flats where you can see them. You got her in, and then it's just time to send it. Remember, these things are not going to be too tight, guys, just a little bit of crush. All right, guys, and at that point, because this was originally in a Slayer, We don't have to move the carburetor, we don't have to move the fuel inlet, we don't, nothing. So it's ready to go back in. Alright guys, now the engine's in, I got the exhaust mount nice and tight. We're going to go ahead and check our mesh. Mesh actually feels real good, and now we're going to check our slipper. We're going to do that by just kind of putting your finger on the slipper on the spur gear. Getting an 8mm wrench on there. Oh yeah, she is, I wouldn't call her loose, but she is definitely not as tight. And look at the thickness of your slipper pads. They don't look bad whatsoever. The next thing you want to do before you go any further, grab your easy start. Make sure she's doing easy start things. Alright, let's go and get the tank in this thing. Alright guys, and if you've ever done a tank in a Revo, it's only held in by two clips on a pair of studs. So these are just basically going to push down, take a pair of needle nose. There's little tiny, not tiny, but there's like little collars you got to push down, and that'll get you where you need to go with the clips. They can be a little fiddly, but they're not bad. And guys, just like that, we have a Revo tank. We can go ahead and plug in our pressure port. We're going to have to put a roll bar back on to run this fuel line, but let's go and do the electronics next. Alright, so, all that being said, let's see what our electronics box looks like. Besides, it's probably going to be wet. So we're going to gently pry, which was not even close to being... I guess the tape was there, it broke loose. And the tape is kind of important. I got to clean all the moisture out of here from washing her, because we're putting in a TQI receiver. And a TQI receiver means it's a gyro receiver, so this thing has to be taped down. They give you a piece of tape. I've already put it on the receiver, but let's go and get all this stuff swapped out. Now we're not going to, well, I'm sorry, we are going to use this power wire. Then we got to identify which would be, oh wow, I can't even see it. Okay, so channel 1, they're reversed on the old AM FM. So channel 1 is to turn, channel 2 is to burn. You got to watch these things because they have two channel 1s in them, because the older ones had a splitter. Some of them actually just used channel 1 and channel 2, or channel 1 and channel 1, which were in fact all of your channels for your steering. And channel 3 is going to be a reverse, which is going to be run by your OptiDrive. And again, the OptiDrive uses an optical sensor in the transmission, so if it senses no RPM, it will allow the reverse shift. Without it, it'll go right into reverse shift, and then you're going to have a bad day. Let me go and get a battery in this thing. Alright guys, it is go time. Now the story of this engine is, I took it out of something I don't really remember, and I used it as a power-up. And I got to thinking, I'm like, man, that thing was clean. So I went back and traded them another engine for it to get it back so they didn't turn it in for the power-up program. I think I got a 3.3 out of it. But I pulled the back plate on it before I did this video, and guys, I'm not going to lie, that engine looks like it was new. Hence why I'm preheating it. This one I'm going to give a little tickle to, because these things are super easy to hydrolock and burn up your easy start. So let's see if she's going to run. She's probably going to run and stall until she primes up. Fuel clamps open. So she's not doing anything. So let's go ahead and pull the glow plug out of this thing. And see if it's any good. I would assume it is. Yeah, I mean the glow plug's brand new. I mean, new. So, that being said, yeah, glow plug is good. Let us try it again. We'll try it with a glow wrench. I probably should have put a new easy start harness in it, but well, it's not too late to do that. So what we're going to do, use an actual glow driver. tickle it again. I'm still not seeing fuel coming through. Well, let's go ahead and fill the line. Okay, we're almost to the carburetor, but not quite yet. Interesting. Alright guys, so between a loose glow plug and a low-speed needle hanging out, I turned it in, tightened up the glow plug, and now she's starting making sounds. So we're just going to let her idle, get up to about 190, 200 degrees a couple times, and then we're going to put some wheels on her. We're going to do that 2 more times, guys. There's no reason to film that. That gets kind of boring after a while. Alright guys, so I just shut her down. This is the 3rd heat cycle. And we made it to, a little warmer than we needed to, 222. Now generally with that, you just want to, if you want to bring that temperature down, you just richen up the low speed needle just an hour or so. Just give it a little bit more idle fuel and that'll take care of that. But let me go and get some wheels on this thing and see if she could do some things. Alright guys, so wheels are on. Let's see if it'll actually do a little bit of bench testing. Guys, all we're looking for right there is that I can hammer the fuel down, spin the tires a little bit, and the thing doesn't stall. And another word on temperature, if you're having trouble getting this thing up to temperature when you're just running in for braking, because I don't know anything about this engine other than it is very clean, you can adjust your low speed needle, a couple hours each direction. Leaner, the more temperature you get; richer, the less temperature you get. But let's get this thing outside.